Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing my what sold video for last week, Monday through Thursday, April 22nd through the 25th. And it was a really good week. Believe it or not, Thursday was my highest selling day in the last 30 days. It was just in the middle of the week. I had some amazing sales, a lot of 20, 30, and another one that was really big. That sold that day. So I'm plodding right along, maintaining the last 2 days, because this is Thursday of the following week. The last 2 days have been slow though on eBay. Last night I didn't sell anything overnight, had no offers or anything when I woke up this morning. So that was a little bit different. So, but who knows if it was an eBay issue or if things are just going to start slowing down. Summer slowdown, everybody talks about it. I tend to not see it, I think, as badly as some do, just because I sell such a variety of things, and I think that has been the game changer for us a lot. There was a time before Robert really got involved in our business and helping me source that I pretty much tunnel vision toys and plush, with a few exceptions. But we moved into clothing after we started this channel. We've really focused in on vintage appliances and Christmas and just a large variety of things, shoes, all of that type of stuff. So I think that really makes a difference, that we're not niched down as much as we used to be. But I've had a couple of comments in my videos about don't give up on Mercari. And I'm for this month, this is the plan. I'm going to try to send out promotions or their 10% thing to watchers every single day. I'm going to try to keep up with that. And I have decided I'm going to cross-list every single day this month. It may not be a lot, but I'm going to put stuff on Mercari, Poshmark, and Etsy every single day and see what happens. I need to fix a little board, I think. Some kind of chart where I can say, okay, this day I cross-listed this many items. And let's see if I see an uptick in sales on all of the platforms, because it's been tough. But again, some of that's my fault because I haven't been cross-listing. I've not been staying active. And just like eBay, if you're not active in those platforms, you're just really not going to, do very well. I totally believe in that. So that's the plan. I'm going to cross-list every single day and see if I see a major change. Because somebody asked why do I not like Mercari? And it's not just that they made this big change, because I've made a couple of sales since they did the big change where now our buyers are paying all of the fees, but they just don't address the shipping issue. Those of us that live on the coast, our buyers are paying way too much in shipping, and I think it's a detriment to that platform and to our sales. If their shipping was more reasonable for stuff over £1, I think I would do so much better on there. But for now, I think this month, while I'm cross-listing, I'm only going to cross-list stuff that's under £1 to Mercari. Now, the other platforms, whatever I want to put on there within their guidelines. And we'll see. I'm going to get a little something, some kind of chart. I'll have Robert figure out something for me. And we'll go and see what happens for me. It's May. Things are going to be a little bit slower, and see if it helps at all, because Mercari's been awful. But I have sales to share with you guys from all of the platforms this 4-day period. So, that's a good thing. I don't have a whole lot on Etsy. I think I'm just going to bite the bullet and put a whole bunch on there. I'm going to go through the ones that I let expire, see if I want to put them back over on there. But really, I'm focusing on getting my high dollar stuff. So anytime I sell something on Etsy, it's going to be high dollar, which, you know, makes a big difference for me, that it's worth the time to get stuff put over on there. All right, let's get to it. Wait, I got a neutral today, y'all. This is just annoying. All it says is didn't order. How could you not have ordered something? You know, I don't get that. I'm trying to go through the normal little click on the help button up in the right side of the seller hub that says, you know, and see if eBay will automatically remove it for me. Otherwise, I will be contacting eBay, because that's just not right. You can't leave me in neutral that you didn't order it when obviously somebody ordered it in your household on your account. It's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And yes, they're on the block list. Mercari. One and only sale, but it was a sale, right? I picked this up at my favorite little estate sale company. I was waiting on Robert to go through what he was looking at, and they had a table of just copper stuff. I had never purchased copper household stuff before, and I was Google lensing some of it and figured out some of it is worth checking into. This was the last piece because I went to pull it out of the box and it was the last one in there. And I did really well. I sold like these little glass canister sets that had like copper stuff around the bottom of it. It was over $100, I think, or close to $100. But this was a match holder wall hanging, and it sold for $19 on Mercari. All right, 2 sales on Poshmark to sell with you. This was a horseshoe stone alabaster pencil holder. We had stopped at I thought it was like a chronic yard sale. We hadn't been to it, but it just kind of had that vibe where it's always set up. I ended up finding quite a few things there. It's not on a route that we normally go to, so, you know, it ended up being a really nice sale. So, you can't judge a book by its cover, because I have a terrible attitude when I pull up to some place and it just doesn't seem like it's going to be anything I'm interested in. And sometimes I'm wrong. But it sold for $17. And then I sold these Giorgio Brutini men's loafers. I'm thinking this was from our little estate sale company we like to go to when I bought all of those really nice high-end vintage clothing items. We bought quite a few shoes at that one also. These sold for $35. And then I'm going to share my Etsy sale with you guys. These are vintage Littlest Pet Shop figures. You can always tell the Littlest Pet Shop, the vintage ones. Somewhere on them, you'll see a little, that's as close as it's let me get, a little silver medallion. You can see it here on several of them. That's definitely Littlest Pet Shop. But anyway, it sold for $69.95. All right, and then eBay. If you're new to my channel, I don't do free shipping. So when I say something sold like this item for $7, the buyer also paid shipping. Also, just my little commercial. I don't do it very often. Down in the description of all of my videos, I've got lots of links to different programs that we are part of, where if you click on some of the platforms, I get a small commission anytime you purchase anything through those platforms. I also have links to American Bubble Boy, List Perfectly, WorthPoint. If you're inclined to want to start using WorthPoint, I have affiliate links all the way down there. But the freest thing that you can do for us is click that like button, leave a comment in the video. It helps us in the YouTube algorithm. All right, first thing, sold for $7, but y'all, it's 2 little spoons to a Fisher-Price tea set. Most of these vintage Fisher-Price items like this, a lot of times on the back, they'll have an FP. Sometimes they'll have a date. I went into eBay, typed in Fisher-Price teaspoon and found the set that I felt that it went with. and it sold for $7. Dakin, I just recently showed you guys a different one. This dog is definitely worth taking a look at if you find him. He is vintage. His name is Drooper. I think I called him Droopy in one of the other videos. They come in varying colors. I want to say this was a Ben's pickup, and so I would have, the one that we go to a couple of times a year, it was $1.89 a pound. Now I've been told it's bumped up to like $2.09 a pound in St. Louis. So this probably was a little, about $1, maybe a little bit more. So, you know, a lot of times I have people asking me, what are my cost of goods? It's cheap. I'm frugal. If it's a Ben's, it's $1.89 a pound. But for the most part, a lot of times, I'm buying small bundles, or, you know, a lot of the plushes $1 or less. But he sold for $21.56. It's my watch telling me to get up, exercise. I've been sitting here working on this video too long. All right. I had 2 of these. I'm not sure if this is the most recent one I picked up. I think it is because of the date code in my custom label. But the brand was Animal Playthings. It is a hound dog puppet, kind of similar to the Gons Wrinkles. They both are cute. You know, I can't really pick one that I prefer over the other one. This one sold very quickly though for me. I took a best offer of $15. Small appliances, vintage small appliances. I'm tired of listing them. You know, I have just, it's so much cleaning and making sure I keep stuff together so I know what goes with what, and then get them down here and get them processed one piece at a time. I've been doing a lot of that. I've just got back into some toys recently just to kind of break up the monotony. Because y'all, to be honest, right, a lot of times getting this stuff listed can be quite monotonous. But I'm determined. It's the beginning of May. I should, maybe for the next video, I'll tell you guys this year so far how many listings I've processed, because I'm determined to clear out my profit piles. Determined. But let's get back to this. West Bend Food Preparation Brown Mixing Bowl sold for $13.45. Coleco. A lot of the Coleco is Cabbage Patch Kids. This outfit had condition issues, a lot of condition issues, but I still have been listing these. This one was listed. This wasn't from the most recent bunch that I bought. It's been listed a little over a month, and I went ahead and accepted an $11 best offer. But all it is a little romper and a white shirt. Now these next 3 were from one buyer. They're all very similar. I sold this Fisher-Price Loving Family Hispanic little girl dollhouse figure. These were from the Dream series. They were from the 90s. I sold this little girl for $11.66. This mom and dad for $11.66. And this little girl from 1993 for $11.66. I think she's supposed to have like a little skirt on. That's why it looks like she's kind of sort of in her bloomers. But so $4 dolls for a little over $33. I love finding vintage Fisher-Price dollhouse stuff. Love it. All right, these next 2 items, both of them were listed relatively recently. This first one was an Ace Novelty Pink Insect, little vintage plush, and then this Fujifilm blimp. Pretty sure this was in the tote of toys that I recently drug out of the building from the high bid estate sale that I won several years ago. Maybe. I think so, though. But the 2 of these plush sold for $29.61. This was given to us from RJ's grandma. Just stuff that she no longer wanted, and I just decided I'm going to get it listed. it got separated down here. So I didn't realize I had a whole bunch of this. So I went ahead and I was listing these plates individually because I could only find one. When I found the rest of them, I got everything listed. So I listed these in sets of 2. They're Falstaff, pottery, Villa della Luna dinner plates. I think I ended up with like 6 of them, and I'm not going to show the second screen, but I sold 2 sets of these to 2 different buyers for $13.72. Barbie stuff, y'all. I found a baggie of just maybe 12, 15 items. I was about to lay them all out and list them as a lot, $29.95, something crazy like that. But one piece caught my attention, and it was a Black Label Barbie little pink robe. Google Lensed it. Come to find out, it was worth, $15 or so. And started Google Lensing all of the other pieces, and they were all vintage Barbie. I think there was actually another vintage piece to a different doll. But all of them were like nice comps. And so I ended up with this piece where the Ken shirt, Paisley shirt, had the Black Label. And I didn't realize till I was Google Lensing that I actually had the corduroy pants for it. And it sold the same day I listed it. I took a $40 offer on just these 2 pieces. So, sometimes it's good to slow down and do a lot of these Barbie clothes. If you can't attribute it to Barbie, just use the word fashion doll. Don't use Barbie unless you know for sure that it is Barbie, because you might get a Vero on that. Club Penguin Ant Arctic Plush from Jack's Pacific sold for $8.96 and sold in less than 2 months. American Eagle women's jeans. These, y'all, we find American Eagle all the time. You just got to pay attention to the type of jeans you're picking up. The condition is important. But these were size 4, so a small size short also, and they still sold in about 2 months for $17.71. Pretty sure I picked this up recently at a kids consignment sale. Paid a couple of dollars. I remember it being a bag with 4 or 5 Ben 10 figures in it. I want to say I sold the green one already. I forget his name. And then I've sold Humongosaur here from 2018. He sold for $8.96. Doll clothes. I still have so much doll clothes. It's probably going to be one of the last things I try to conquer. But I did go through a couple of the totes and pull out any name brand, Cabbage Patch, Build-A-Bear, that type of stuff. But the rest of the stuff I've got, it's just, I'm going to have to figure out what the dolls are, or just make lots, thinking, like 18-inch doll lots, 12-inch doll lots. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll just make a big old pile and say, here you go. Because some things are just tedious. Some things. But anytime you see Baby Born, Zap Creation, definitely check them out. This one had some condition issues, some stains, some fuzz balls, and it still sold in less than a month for $8.96. And definitely keep your eyes out for any of the accessories, the pacifiers, the bottles, all of that type of stuff. This is Fiesta Dave and Buster dog plush. Pretty sure this was a Ben's pickup. Sold for $22.45. Dakin Beatrice Bunny hand puppet from 1983. It's been listed. This was from the private pick estate sale that we went to a year ago, because I started seeing some Google reminders of some of the pictures. Those of you who were watching me way back a year ago, that's the one I shared a picture, I believe, in the Facebook group. A lot of the clothes, when we went to do the private pick clothes, a lot of the plush was hanging from the ceiling because there was just no room. At first they thought they might do the sale in the house, and they had hung the plush from the ceiling. So I was pulling stuff down, just tons of vintage plush. It was so amazing. I keep wishing every time I go through pictures of current estate sales that are getting ready to happen, I keep praying I find another one where it's just tons of vintage plush, tons. But so far not. All right, this one sold for $26.95. Fisher Price Little People was just kind of going through the box. I tend to throw a bunch of them in a box and then I process them. You know, I make small lots. These were all birds, so I just went ahead and kept them together, and they sold for $10.49. Brass, I made myself process a huge tote of brass that was left over from yard sale seasons in the past. This was a 6-inch tall planter, and it sold for $13.45. Regency Toys Aloha cloth doll. I thought this would sell quicker, but it took a very long time. It was one of my old listings, so I've been sending out 25% offers on all of my stuff that was listed before last year. And, you know, I'm starting to see some progress in getting more of that stuff moving. This sold for $8.96. Now, this I picked up at a recent estate sale. Kind of disappointing. I bought 2 lots of these Bible book study. I've already sold both of them. Paid $2 for each bundle. Some of them I had seen comps for $10 and $15 each, but I didn't realize, I didn't check carefully, and all of them had writing all the way through them. So I just went ahead and decided I'm going to list them for $24.95, and I sold both of them instantly. Maybe I undervalued them, I don't know, but I'm very happy that I was able to go ahead and sell these, even though they are very much filled in already. So this one sold for $22.45 with my 10% off sale. All right, Walmart Halloween flashing decoration sold for $22.91. Bubble Guppies. This is from that same bag of Bubble Guppies I picked up at a kids consignment sale. I paid $12.50 for the bag. I've sold several of the lots that I made from it, but I also sold that nurse and airplane figure lot for $80. But definitely keep your eyes out for this. It's kind of like the Fisher Price Snap and Lock dolls where the clothes just kind of snap on. Same idea. This was just one of the little girl figures, and just her and one outfit sold for $20.20. Bubble Guppies, y'all. Gap Denim women's short overalls. These sold for $22. Y'all, when we got ready to go to FlipCom last year, there was going to be like a, I don't even remember, 80s night or 90s night or whatever. So I pulled these for me to wear, you know, with the just dressed up. Anyway, it's kind of fun that you get to pull stuff from your own inventory when you need it for something specific like that. Then I just washed them and relisted them, and they sold $22. Playmobil. This again was just in totes of stuff that I've been processing. I had a little baggie that as I was going through this tote, I kept throwing Playmobil in. And when I was done with that tote, this is what I had accumulated. Listed it. I just kind of picked a price, and it sold in less than a month for $17.95. Arthrotech Pharmaceutical Plush. This, again, I found in the totes of stuff that I had brought over that was leftovers from the High Bid estate sale. This is just a little purple cow from, I don't even know what Arthrotech is. Sold for $8.51. Right, I picked this up at the Goodwill bins on our last trip in December. I had found like this item, another little felted wool figure, and then I found the little 3 blind mice set that I've already sold. I think it sold for over $60 just for the mice. But this, I used Google Lens to identify. It ended up being a Bethany Lowe felted witch mouse, and it sold for $25.60. This is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Yvonne. Yvonne bought this Dakin RCA dog plush for $8.05. And unfortunately, I had it listed as Nipper, and she informed me that this is actually Chipper. I'm going to have to figure out which is which. But thanks again, Yvonne. This is a Robert pickup. I want to say it was at a recent estate sale, but it's a Radio Shack field strength tester. I think it has something to do with ham radios, maybe. Maybe I'm getting that confused with something else. I put on there that it was untested, but it had cables that a lot of the other ones didn't have that were listed. So I think that was its added bonus. And it sold very, very quickly for $17.95. This is a good one to be looking out for. This is Best Made Toys. It's a brand I do like to pick up. This one kind of falls, to me, looks like it falls under like the nursery type plush. But it was just a brown bear, but it had those yellow dots on the ears and the feet. And it sold for my full asking price of $49.95. This is some more vintage Littlest Pet Shop. It was just a little container of, or a box of food, and then these 3 little mice and cat figures, and they sold for $12.10. Uh-oh, my little writing scooched up there. This is a Lovey. I think it didn't have the brand on the tag, but it did have an RN number. If you ever find you're in that situation, just Google RN database, and it's going to pull up this database that you can plug in that number, and it'll tell you who the manufacturer is. I think I have a link in the Facebook group, you know, under those top banner things. But just, yeah, RN database. And it told me that it was some SL, let me look here, SL Home, and it sold for $9.71. Bread and butter. All right, this is another viewer sale, so thank you so much, Lydia. Lydia bought my Dandy Yellow Smile Face plush for $19.76. I think when I showed this recently in a haul video, I had several people send me comments of that. I guess smiley face maybe is becoming one of those things that you might get a Vero on. So I just went ahead and went through. I hadn't had any issues, and I had sold stuff with the term smiley face. But I just went ahead and went through all of my listings that were with that smiley face and changed them to smile face. So thanks again, Lydia. All right. This is a piece to a Krups ice cream maker. I ended up with like 2 of them sitting down here, and I just went ahead and took all the parts and separated them out, and just this replacement paddle sold for $15.25. I showed this in a recent video. We went to a yard sale. I picked up a ton of Jurassic Park dinosaurs and several puppets. This was one of the puppets. It was by Alma's Designs. There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. It goes with a book series. I was actually missing a cow, but they had included a fly. So I just put that in my listing, and it sold immediately, $39.95. Daiso is the brand of this. Just a little cat pillow plush, and it sold for $26.95. I'm thinking a lot of these now are from Thursday. I just had a lot of $25, $30 sales. All All right, this is a baby gunned rainbow color turtle, and it sold in less than a month for $8.06. It did have a faint spot that after several washings was not going to come out. So I just made sure I put that in my description and took pictures of it. Cuddlewit, it's a vintage brand I like picking up. This was another one of my really old listings. It sold $9.86. It's just a little 8-inch monkey. Applause Curious George sold for $7.50. I like picking up character plush. Wild Republic Green Frog plush. It had a little tag that said it was from the Riverbanks Zoo. Sometimes that helps with listings. You know, a lot. I like finding San Diego Zoo, St. Louis Zoo. But, you know, I don't know if it helps or hurts some listings when you have zoos that, you know, frankly, I've never heard of that one. It sold for $11.66. Fisher-Price Sweet Streets. Pick these up at the bins. I bought several of them. In the past, I've done very well with these dollhouse sets. These are smaller versions. They're smaller than the Loving Family stuff, but it's still pretty large. It was able to fit into a regular priority box. But they just aren't doing that, especially the buildings aren't doing as well as they had in the past. Now, the accessories I still do very well with, but would I pick this particular one up again? Probably not. It sold in less than a month, but it was just for $12.10. Fisher-Price Imaginext figure lots. I tend to pick up any and all that I find at the bins. You know, you have 10 cents maybe in them, and I just make lots. This one sold for $15. Just going through the profit piles, y'all. I ended up with this little horse and sheep. Decided just to put them together. I didn't think I had any other lots of animals going at the time, and they sold in less than a month for $8.87. Levi's 550 men's jeans. We find a lot of Levi's around here. Sold for $17.71. Another pair of men's jeans these are by American Eagle, and they sold for $15.94. A lot of our jeans, if they will fit in a priority padded flat rate envelope, I do a flat rate shipping of $8.99. If it sells to somebody close to us, the shipping, I usually will end up shipping it out regular priority. But a lot of times I end up either putting it in the bubble flat rate envelope or the little letter size envelope and shipping them out that way. This is from Brooklyn Doll Company. It's a vintage plush, just a cute little black gorilla. $32.35. It did take over a year to sell though. Mattel Happy Heart Family Girl doll. Y'all, Google Lens told me exactly who she was. And she sold in less than a month for $8. Cute story with this one. This is a Walmart White Rabbit plush. I got a message with several pictures from a person who was looking for a green plush that looked identical to this one. He didn't know who the brand was, but he's trying to purchase it for his girlfriend who has been doing a lot to help him with family issues. And you know, he sent me pictures and I'm like, I think this is the exact plush except the wrong color. But he just decided to go ahead and purchase this one. And, you know, I'm kind of glad I was able to at least now let him know who the brand is, and then he can keep looking. But I think he was going to go ahead and surprise her with this one because he had sent me pictures of her as a child with the little green version of this. So he sent me a $12 offer and I just went ahead and accepted it. Playmobil 1, 2, 3. That is more of like a preschool size Playmobil figure. A lot of Playmobil, the regular Playmobil, it's kind of like Legos. They're small, small children shouldn't play with them, but Playmo does, like Duplo with Lego. Playmobil also has like a toddler sized toy, and I just decided to throw these together. There's actually figures that should go with that rocket, and I think I saw comps that were like $20 and $30 if you had the few pieces that went with the rocket, but I couldn't find them and I didn't have them. But these sold very quickly for $15 for the 3 pieces. Going through our clothes, trying to get stuff listed there also. This sold very quickly. It was a brand called Styles to Go. It was kind of like a cut-off white knit shirt, sold for $15. I don't even remember picking this up. When this sold, I'm like, I don't remember this. Do you ever have that happen? I don't remember this at all. But it sold for $17.95. It was a Halloween skeleton, like puffy nylon, 60-inch figure. $17.95. Walmart, again, this is why I love Walmart stuff. This was a yellow duck plush, sold for $22. Now I had a huge tote. This is like the first major tote I started in January and February to start going through. I had Disney princesses, I had Disney figures, I had Barbie. They were all just kind of things it took forever to go through, but I am so glad I did. But all of these pieces went to a Disney Cinderella Castle monorail playset. Not really Polly Pocket size, a little bit bigger than Polly Pocket. Again, Google Lens just kept helping me. Now, not all the pieces went. I ended up throwing a few pieces in that just kind of fit, but may not have specifically gone to that set. But it sold in about 2 months for $35.95. And y'all, I made tons of lots out of these totes. Right, we just recently picked this Braun food processor up at a churchyard sale. We paid $20 for the whole thing. This sold almost immediately. This is the lid that went to the white bowl, $24.95. So we're already in the profit. This is Mattel Monster High. Her name is Katrine Demew. Been listed for about a year. Finally sold $25.16. I remember picking this up at a yard sale or something. I want to say I paid $3 for it. It is an X19 skateboard. I don't know where I came up with all those words. Probably others that were listed. That's, use what's out there to help you describe your items. Yeah, on the side there, universal grabber trucks. My son is a big skateboarder. He may have helped me also. Anyway, it sold for $35.95. This was from the high bid stuff that I was going through. These are Burger King Dragon Ball Z figures. Sold very quickly for $10. Now, I found a box of these several years ago of just vintage Christmas Lego stuff. I made complete sets out of what was there, and this was like the remnants. These are pieces and parts. I don't think any of them were complete. I just decided to be done with that little tote of stuff that I had set aside. They sold in about 3 months for $10. All right. I would have never known who this was without Google Lens at all. This was Earthworm Jim Bob the Killer Goldfish from 1995. Sold right after I listed it for $10 offer. And my best sell of those 4 days, this. I sold this once already, and you get those messages from the buyer explaining how much they appreciate, what's your best offer, they buy it, and he didn't pay. But I got the same offer again, different buyer after I relisted it, and it sold for $150. This is a Play School Toy Story voice recorder mic. I don't think I watched the one that has him in it, but all it is a voice recorder. There's a larger version of him that sells for a lot of money, that actually plays cassettes, but this one is just a voice recorder. I have a video of it working, and finally paid for $150. All right, y'all, hope you enjoyed this. Lots of things to be looking for while you're out there in, hopefully, yard sale season for you. We went out today, hit probably, I don't know, 10 yard sales, a couple of estate sales. Didn't find a whole lot though today, and it's supposed to rain the rest of the weekend. So Robert and I are actually going to run away and have some fun time in a cabin in Pigeon Forge this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Just chillax and have some quiet time. No worky for me. Y'all, the rest of you can get to work. Bye.